don't know many songs, but I know this one. Going up a hypocrite, going in a run, going up a hypocrite, have a little fun. I roll my breeches leg to my knees, going up a hypocrite when I please.
Oh my God.
My name is Edna Morris.
What was your maiden name?
I was a Sizemore, but then I decided to get married.
And
I got married
when?
in 1963. And I have 2 kids. One's 51, the other's 47. I have 1 granddaughter, and she's 22 years old. And this is my big sis, my older sister. She ain't too bright. But I sure do love her.
And anyway, I got 2 boys, and they have, I forgot how many grandkids I've got. How many have I got? Edna, how many grandkids I got? 5?
Did you count?
Well, I tell you the truth now. I can't think too good since I had that stupid stroke now.
Yeah, you got 5.
And 4 great-grandkids, right?
Yeah.
Well, where was you born at?
I really don't know. I guess it's born down Big Branch. Wherever Mommy was, that's where I was born at.
My belly
She
hurt.
snorted like a horse.
Oh, how long have you lived in the little village of Haddocks?
I've lived here all my life.
No, you didn't. When you got left out of school, where did you go?
Right over yonder in that holler.
No, you didn't.
Faye come and got me, took me to Ohio for a while. But then I come back, and I got married. And
Have you worked hard all of your life,
I've worked
sis?
hard all of my life. I've hoed corn, I gathered tobacco,
Well, I bet when you was pregnant, what'd you do?
I thinned corn, because I didn't want my daddy out there by himself.
Well, we worked hard now, Edna, growing up, every one of
Yes.
us.
I gathered fodder. I did, and I thinned corn.
Well, I bet poor old Faye.
Now, Faye was lazy. She didn't do much.
She didn't.
No.
No.
She's sick.
Oh, she was sick, huh?
Yeah, you heard her tell it.
Oh, that's right.
She's sick all the time.
I was born on Mill Creek, Kentucky, and then I moved to Big Branch, Kentucky, and I stayed there until I was in the 6th grade. In the 7th grade, we moved to Haddocks, and then in the 8th grade, I went to Little Red School in Jackson, and then I went to high school in Jackson and graduated. And then I left home, and most of my time I spent in Ohio, and then I just traveled around from that.
And I went to Haddock School till I was in the 8th grade, and then I went to Breathitt.
And we was all born at home. None of us was born in the hospital. We had midwives to deliver each one of my mother's children. I have a sister in California with 2 children, and a brother in Michigan, and he has 3 children and 2 stepchildren. Well, how did we get our food up in that holler, you reckon?
We packed it on our back.
Well, honey,
And we
could-
packed coal up in there too.
Well, now, we
because-
couldn't have carried all them soup beans in that big old bag that Daddy bought them in.
Daddy hauled him in a sled.
How'd he get across the river?
He get it before the river got too big.
Oh, yeah?
And if it got too big, we had packed coal across that bridge and up in that holler.
We raised about everything we eat, except every winter Daddy would go get was it 50 or 100 pounds?
He'd get 100 pound and give his mother half of them.
Oh.
Pinto beans.
Pinto beans, and we'd get how much sugar? The brown sugar.
25
Come in
pounds.
little balls, and we'd still eat it. We thought it was candy. Well, did you ever get caught on that railroad bridge?
I sure did.
Well, I never did.
I'd get out there on the side and I'd hold.
I think Mommy and
Daryl got caught one time.
Jimmy too, didn't he?
No, this is Mommy and Daryl.
Oh.
And the train thought he got Mommy's coattail, and that train stopped. And when that train stopped, here I went running. Because I know Mommy and Daryl was on that bridge. And that engineer started up through there, and I told them they was all right.
Oh, what about that time that one fell in your yard? That, what do you call it?
And me and Faye was walking, and one of them old train men hit me in the back with a rock. And Faye laughed till she couldn't. And you know that hurt too.
What did you say?
You SOB. And we went walking up that railroad, me and my two sisters, and I had a pair of flip-flops on, and it broke. And I had to throw it away. And I had to come down that railroad barefooted, and that old tar running up, and it sure was hot.
We laughed at you
and
too.
they laughed at me. And I didn't think it was very bit funny.
But we did, didn't we?
But they thought it's funny.
Yeah. But we went to Jackson to get groceries one day. We come back and there was a whole bunch of cars and trucks stopped down there, and we said, what in this world is going on? Got up here, and here was it 2 engines?
No, one.
I thought it was 2.
No, tell it like it is.
Well, I thought it was 2.
Looked like a big, I don't know what laying there.
Looked like a big old...
Well.
Yeah. And Mom and those, we had to leave because they afraid...
Now, they wanted to sleep, but we
But
wouldn't
Mommy
leave.
did.
Mommy went up to her sister's.
Yes. The hazmat team was here or something.
She wanted to go anyway.
Oh. Maybe she did, maybe she didn't.
Ah, she did.
My sister and my Mom's house got destroyed. And Edna can tell you about that now. I don't remember when it was or nothing. You tell that, Edna.
What do you mean destroyed?
Well, you lost your house, remember?
When the flood come?
Yes.
We had a flood in 57. Then we had a flood in 83. And it got up to my mommy's window. And it got 20 inches of my house. I tore it down and bought me a double-wide trailer. And I'm still living in it.
And my Dad and Mom's house, my mother put all her quilts and blankets and things up on a shelf in her closet. And lo and behold, it got wet all the way up there, and they went to pull all that out, and a big snake come out of it. And they said that fish and stuff swim through that window in my Dad and Mom's house. It was an awful time. And they, what about Daddy? You said they couldn't get his medicine or something, didn't you?
Yes.
So how did he get it?
He went up to Ledford Lovins and stayed in a house that they had. And the water got over the road. And Ledford took his four-wheeler and went through the water and come and got Daddy's medicine.
And one time they was planting, what was it, beans or something? And Mommy was dropping them. And Edna and Glenn, I think, was supposed to be fertilizing them or something.
Mommy had a, what do you call it?
Corn dropper.
Corn dropper, and we had dropped the beans down there beside of it. So we got tired of dropping the beans, so we threw them away. And Daddy was making Glenn fertilize. And Glenn, down there at the Kidder Rock, went and threw that fertilize over that hill. And Daddy went down there and said, "Hey, Lil," said, "come here," said, "your lays a dead man." So there went Glenn and running too. And it was that fertilizer that didn't throw it over that hill.
Oh my gosh. Oh, we was mean, wasn't we?
We got pretty good memories to be as old as we are.
Well, now you got the memory, but I got the looks. But
I look better than you do. I got the looks. We're twins.
Yeah. But I feel sad that Faye and Glenn's not here, you know.
I talked to Glenn today.
Oh, I didn't. Poor little thing.
Oh, Kathy's going to come see you.
Huh?
She's wanting to come see you.
Me?
Yeah. Glenn said, "No, you don't want to go there." Said, "She's mean." Said, "She's awful mean." Kathy said, said, "I like her."
Oh my gosh.
Well, we had green beans, we had soup beans, we had hog meat, we had milk and bread, butter,
Chicken.
gravy, biscuits.
I'm the oldest of the 4 kids. And Daddy had told my mother that she was going to keep having children until she had him a son. And then there'd be no more. Well, she had 3 girls and then finally had the son, and that was it.
And when I was born, Daddy said, another damn girl.
Another damn girl.
Yeah.
And but I live in Radcliffe, Kentucky. And I'll probably live there till I go to the big house, you know. And this little place here used to be like a little village. Like there was quite a few houses, wasn't there?
Mm-hmm.
And Matt Cope had a store, and he sold everything. It was like a 5 and dime store. And we would stop there every evening when we got off school bus and get us a RC Cola and a Jimbo Pie. Wasn't that what we called them? It's our childhood. I think we had a wonderful childhood. We didn't hear of no drugs and all this and that and the other when we was growing up. We made our own games, and we went to bed early and got up early, didn't we? And back in our day, we had a doctor named Dr. Hogue. Do you remember him?
No.
Well, he was called Dr. Hogue, and I got sick one time, and I couldn't get out of the holler. So Daddy and them went and got him, and he walked all the way up in that holler to doctor me. Back then, people cared about each other. It wasn't just for money, money, money. But every one of us had a good life. We didn't have the best, but we never went to bed hungry, and we never was naked. Well, one of them was Annie Over. You remember that? Annie Over and Red Rover, I dare you to come over. And then we had a little old iron circle-like thing that had a hook on it, and we'd run that all over the place. We'd just run, wouldn't we? Run our legs off. I don't know of any other games we played. Horseshoes we did, didn't we?
Mm-hmm. And one time Faye had built a fire. We had a coal wood stove, and she went out and got the wood. She got it too long, and she got mad and threw it through the window and broke the window out. You remember that?
Yeah. I remember Paul, his stove door was broke, and he had to make his flour bread and cornbread, wasn't it? And he went to check on his cornbread, and the stove door fell down, and he picked it up and just threw it down the back door.
He'd make cornbread for breakfast.
Yeah.
Because they couldn't afford flour. They take the corn to the corn mill and grind it.
Yeah, I forgot about that, you know. We used to have, what do you call that cane stuff?
We'd make our own molasses.
Yeah, molasses.
And we had our own cow. We had our own chickens. We had our own hogs.
Daddy cured the hog hams and stuff, didn't he?
And
I made our own soap.
He'd tell Charles to go get him some meat, and Charles always get the ham. Daddy tell him to, then Daddy tease him about it. And my sister was so dumb, she set the hills on fire.
But my uncle told me to, because he had a date, and he didn't want to clear that hill off for Daddy to plant corn. He told us to set it on fire, and it was sagegrass. What is sagegrass? And that doggone thing spread, and here come the fire warden, and boy, I mean, we hightailed it back home. And I think Archie left, didn't he?
Yeah.
He left, and we told him we didn't do it. We lied. Because they would, I don't know what they'd done to us, to you.
But you had to pay.
We had to pay. Edna was the good one, her and Faye. But me and Glenn was the bad ones. I guess I was the worst.
Yeah.
I was the worst one of them.
She's got the biggest mouth.
I was a black sheep of the family.
I was.
No, I was.
I didn't leave my mom and daddy.
I started to say something, but I won't.
I never left my mom and daddy.
Well, I did. And I enjoyed my life, though. But I wouldn't want to live it over again. No, no. No, no.
you think kids these days have it easier than they did back then?
Yes, I sure do, but I don't think they was as happy as we were back then, in my growing up time.
Because all the farm work and stuff?
Yeah, but that made us too tired to get in trouble.
What about the discipline? You think they don't discipline them enough?
Not like my dad and mom did. And it sure didn't hurt me. It hurt when they was spanking us and whipping us, but it didn't hurt me in the long run.
Someone said that they had a relative, they made dresses out of feed and flour sacks. Did y'all ever do that?
Oh, yes. They had feed in real pretty sacks. And this lady used to make us skirts and dresses. Everybody wore feed sacks back then. And we was happy to get them,
Another one was, did you have any pets? And I guess counting out the farm animals.
Yeah, well, we had mostly, our pets was dogs. But they were all outside. They had their own house outside. They weren't allowed inside.
Did y'all send out a lot of letters?
Quite a bit, because we didn't have telephone back then when I was growing up. I can even remember being in high school and them teaching us how to use a telephone. It seems crazy now, don't it?
Yeah. I mean, that's all they do, text and you get it right away, phone call.
Yeah.
How long did it take, like if you sent out a letter, how long did it take to get the reply?
Oh gosh, it was probably, I guess it's depending on how far you sent a letter. Probably a week or so back then, We had a passenger train that delivered the mail at certain spots, and they would drop it off in the post office.
They drive people crazy anymore.
Yeah.
Do you have any certain holiday traditions, like during Christmas time? Or?
Well, our holidays was the 4th of July. We all celebrated the 4th of July more than any other holiday. That's when we got our new shoes and new clothes, and I don't know what you would call it, where kids didn't have homes and stuff. They had this school called Riverside, and they would have a big thing going on every 4th of July, and that was better than Christmas to us kids.
Was that down by the holler where you grew up?
No, it's about, where that grocery store there is in Haddix, where you cross the bridge. Yeah. Well, it's about 2 or 3 miles up that way. My sister still goes to church there. And back then, you could get clothes. People would go there and they would trade potatoes or whatever to get clothes. And we got a lot of our good clothes there, too.
A lot different than now.
Oh, yes. We wouldn't wear anything like that now.
Any superstores or anything? Is there any specific things you did when you were younger, but you don't really see them do it anymore? Any certain things?
You mean like games or something?
Games or certain...
Like Bob Jacks? You don't even know what that is, do you? We had hopscotch and, what was that other one? Can't think of all of them. We had a lot of games that we would play, but my mind's just a blank now.
Here's one I didn't think of. Someone else asked this. They was wondering how you got up without an alarm clock.
My father, he went to bed before dark, and he'd get up like 3 o'clock in the morning every morning, and we'd wake us up. Mom would have breakfast ready, and we'd have to sit there and wait till daylight come. I don't know why he ever did that, but he did it all his life.
Did he just go to bed early and that's how he got up so early?
Yes.
No rooster crowing?
No rooster crowing. He was our rooster.
And you went to a one-room schoolhouse for a while, right?
I went to a one-room schoolhouse until I was in the 7th grade, I think it was.
How different was that? Did you like it, or?
Yeah, I liked it. Better than going to a big school, There wasn't too many of us there. Went to that one-room school. But I had fun. I liked it. I might not have learned much. Oh.
Did you ever take part in the making moonshine?
No. I was on jury duty one time for that guy was making moonshine, and he got there and lied, and I believed him. And I was working at this diner, and during the lunch hour, I had to go help wait on the customers. And the guy that was making it, came in there and he told his girlfriend, said, take her glasses off. So she took her glasses off and her eyes was black. And he said, see there, if you don't hang the jewelry, that's what's going to happen to you. And I was scared to death. So they took us in the room, and before we could decide if he was guilty or not guilty, the marshal knocked on the door and said, oh, they've, what do you call it, in the wrong court. It was supposed to have been in a different court.
The wrong case.
Yeah. No, it was they tried it as federal, and it's supposed to have been something else. And I never was so happy in all my life. Oh.
Here's a couple questions that are by the same person. Did you ever milk a cow and get smacked by its tail?
Yes. I know who said that. I wasn't very good at it, but at least I tried. Oh.
And here's another one by that person. They said they was wondering how the party scene was back then.
Oh my God, we had fun. We had fun. And we would go to these candy parties, and we just had a little old record player. But boy, we danced with that record player for so many years. I don't even know how it lasted that long. And my mom would go right with us. We never went anywhere without my mom. Growing up, she'd always go wherever we'd go. We'd go and put on style shows, you know, just something kids would do.
Party it.
Yeah, yeah, yep. Fart.
You get me tickled.
Tell us when you're going to start.
Alright, it's ready.
Okay. You talk that tell us who we are now. We don't have to talk right now then.
He's going to ask you questions.
Okay, ask me questions.
You pick which one to start with, and then just check it off.
Now quit, play my leg.
Where were you born and raised?
Oh, ask me where I was born and raised.
He's recording.
Huh? Now? And now, sis, you go. Go, sis.
I better go. 3 rooms,
What was it heated with?
coal and wood.
And where did you get your coal?
My daddy would dig it out of these little banks. I better go.
And they tried to get this old man to help dig it, and he wouldn't do it. Shoot, I got a frog in my throat.
Please jump out.
So he would steal it at night. So Daddy and them decided they was going to watch him. Well, they caught him stealing the coal, and Daddy shot a cigarette out of that man's mouth. And that was the end of the stealing of his coal. They worked in the tobacco field and corn, didn't they?
Cornfield.
Cornfield.
Did your parents ever own a vehicle?
No, they never owned a vehicle. And I was, gosh, I guess I was 30 years old before I got a vehicle. And my dad didn't want me to get it. And the banker went ahead and got me a car. And it was a standard shift, and I like to never on earth got it to back up. I didn't know how to shift gear, but finally I learned. And me and my oldest son would get up at 5:30 every morning, and we would go down to this restaurant, and he'd help me open it up. He'd take people their drinks, and they'd give him. He made a lot of tips, but I couldn't back up, so I had to turn around, and I'd take the tree limbs and everything else with me till I learned how to back up.
Too much sort of headaches.
Huh?
Too much sort of headaches.
Oh, I can't remember. What did he do?
You better go with the bushes.
Oh yeah, we had this neighbor, and he didn't want us to live up there. He
I
wanted
could get cough.
to get the whole thing and call it Haddocks Road or something. And he treated us so bad. It was like the Hatfields and the McCoys the whole time we lived there. And one day I seen him coming up from the post office, and I didn't mean to do it, but my car just went straight at him. And he run in the ditch, or I guess I would have killed the old feller. And then Glenn said he done the same darn thing. Said his car went right at him. And we didn't kill him, but I'd rock him every time I could. I'd throw rocks at him.
Had a playhouse and under a cliff.
Oh yes, we built playhouses all the time. We would take moss and put it down as a carpet, and then one time we built us a fire and with rocks, and them rocks exploded. Do you remember that? Under that cliff, and they exploded. And me and Mom would take Jimmy and Daryl up in the hill, and we'd build a fire and take an iron skillet and fry potatoes. And then one time, Mommy and Edna took, I don't remember if Daryl was with them or not,
Yes.
when they got lost, wasn't he?
Mm-hmm.
What'd Jimmy do?
The quarrel.
He cried too, didn't he?
Uh-huh.
He got mad at Mommy and Edna for letting him get lost. I couldn't tell you how many states I've been in. And the farthest I've ever been was Canada. And the
Been to
place I
Mexico.
liked the most was Fairborn, Ohio.
Been to Mexico.
Yeah, I went to Mexico. I forgot about that. But, oh, Lord, I wouldn't want to go back there.
Been to California.
Well, that's still in the States, though.
California is, yeah.
Yeah, I like California, but I wouldn't want to live there. Like, too much traffic for me. But I enjoyed to go visit, you know. But I guess that's the end of our life.